know that stress impacts our body, puts us in depression, and it gives us all kinds of illnesses. But we don't know exactly how this happens or why this happens. So in today's video, we're going to address each level of stress that impacts our health, either emotional health, either mental health, or even physical health. But before we start, show reel. My name is Anna Lanier, and I am a depression freedom expert. Most people do not understand that depression is related to emotional stress. And guess what? Each kind of illness is also related to emotional stress. So in today's video, we're going to address exactly how this works. And at the end of the video, I am just going to tell you how easy it is to fix. Yes. It's very easy to fix any kind of stress in your life, no matter how spectacular this might look like. So the first level of stress that we put on ourselves or other people put on us has to do with lack of self-esteem, with worthiness. We don't realize that this can put us in depression, but the most important thing in the world is we don't realize this has to do with some level of rejection. What happens when this level of rejections is bigger and we consider ourselves unworthy and we want to be invisible is when you see people having all kinds of sexual problems. That can be at any age, okay? They can be cysts, they can be cancers, they can be all kinds of sexual problems. And these are related to self-worth, to self-esteem, and they're related to rejection. A lot of times they are undistinguishable. And you will not see from how a person looks like or how it behaves that, they have these problems, right? Because nobody just, says, I have sexual problems, right? Or any kind of stuff like that. But please understand that if these problems are solved, okay, if self-worth is raised, right? If there is no more unworthiness, if there is no more fear of rejection, this disappears. When this accelerates to the level of deep rejection and unworthiness, the body starts rejecting itself. And we know this as cancer. So everybody that has gone from some kind of cancer or has cancer genes in their family, please understand that their level of rejection is really deep. And this is the first emotional wound they should fix, right? Because they feel rejected. This is how they feel. Then they believe they're unworthy. This is like a mental block. And as soon as they can work on these two elements, plus the physical part, they can actually shut down cancer genes. It's very simple. Because the body doesn't have to reject itself. The body considers itself worthy of living. So this is how this kind of stress impacts people. The second level of stress that I see all the time in my clients that have to overcome depression is humiliation. Yes. Some people call it bullying, okay? Some people call it embarrassment. It doesn't really matter. This is a level of stress that it manifests in two different situations. So the first level is when you see people overweight. This is the first level. You see people overweight, you see people gaining weight out of the blue. It's when they are trying to hide themselves, hide their pain in their own fat, practically. Okay? They eat so they won't feel embarrassed. They need that little sense of, I deserve to be happy. At least I can eat sugar or things like that, right? And when it's deeper, it's way deeper. It's really deep humiliation and deep embarrassment. You see people stepping into being diabetics. So this low self-esteem, embarrassment, this hits the pancreas. Have to understand why, for example, the pancreas is being hit by this level of stress. It's because it's trying to tell us that we need to get out of this embarrassment situation. We need to get out of this humiliation. We don't have to feel this way. So each organ that is hit by stress, and we're talking today exactly about what kind of stress hits each organ, it tries to tell us why this happens. And you have to fix it in case you have missed the fact that you have been embarrassed, bullied, humiliated, and you think you're totally fine because everybody else on the planet goes through these situations, right? In case you are starting to be overweight, that means you kind of sort of ignoring the situation. And as soon as you start having pancreatic problems like diabetes, it means the wound is deeper and the organ has to show you that it cannot take this stress anymore and it needs to be fixed. Another level of stress that I see all the time with people in depression, it's anger. Yeah. People in depression have a very, very short fuse, and they can get angry, they can explode out of the blue. And that has to do with the liver and the gallbladder. So in case you ever saw people having gallbladder problems, like gallbladder removed, please understand that they were angry, very angry, sometimes at themselves, not necessarily at the world or outside. But this has to do a lot with a feeling of being abandoned, of being not in power, of not being able to control their life, the situation, the family, right, the world, everything else. So we see this anger at all levels in the world. We see it at the political level all the time, right? People are angry about what's happening out there. Are they really angry at the outside situation, or they're actually angry because they don't have a say on the matter? Okay, so these questions we have to ask ourselves. And on the other side, when this anger goes inward, puts people in depression because they seem that they perceive the fact that they have no control over their life. When this anger affects the liver and the gallbladder, it also affects all the intestinal system too, right? Because the liver is in charge with digestion. It also affects all the other glands in the body, like the thyroid and the pancreas and the pituitary gland, because liver is also a gland, right? So it communicates with all the other glands. And one of the most difficult problems that people don't understand is that how the liver is even connected to the adrenals. They are two different glands, right? But they communicate with each other. And when the adrenals start going bad, then there is a different stress put on the body called anxiety. So, all these things are connected. The physical, the emotion, the mental things in our life, they're all connected. And I call them depression because this is emotional wounding, this is stress that we put on ourselves, and we put ourselves in depression emotionally and mentally. And then you are actually putting more stress on the actual organs, and you can destroy your own body, piece by piece by piece by piece. And another reason why I call it depression is because people happy don't have health problems. Very simple. If you look at everybody that has some kind of problem, some kind of illness in the world, you're going to notice that they have some kind of emotional problems. People that are happy and they don't have emotional problems, they don't have any kind of issues that I have mentioned. For the ones that you know, maybe family members, friends that have these issues and they suffer from this kind of stress, please understand that this is not of your choosing. Nevertheless, this can be solved. As soon as the emotional is fixed, And we talked about the emotional wounds of rejection and abandonment and humiliation. And as soon as they understand that this stress can be removed, and there are depression freedom programs, like the one that I run that does that within 3 months, this is it. This is game over. Then they can heal from that stress in the physical, or if they don't need to heal, they can never have these health problems again. So this is very, very possible, right? Nevertheless, it's easy to say it's stress, right? And it's easy to say get rid of stress when you don't know which kind of stress, okay, affects which part of your body, affects which emotional part of your body, and how to do this. So I hope this video has been insightful for you. And I am hoping that if you know anybody in these situations, you can share this video with them. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you like these kind of videos, because I'm committed to make videos to explain to people that depression is not a mental illness, it's only emotional wounding. And anybody can overcome depression, teenager or adult at any age. Anybody can absolutely get out of these emotional wounds and don't put more stress on themselves or on their body. Love you guys.